I've told this story 3 times, once to the police, once to a therapist, and once to myself. But every time, I leave something out. Not because I want to, because I'm afraid of what happens when I say it out loud. This started in November. I don't remember the exact date. I only remember it was cold and already dark by 6. I was living alone in a small apartment, 2nd floor, old building, thin walls. Nothing strange had ever happened there before. The first thing I noticed was the sound. Not footsteps, not voices, breathing, very slow, very controlled. At first I thought it was mine. I stopped moving and held my breath. The sound continued. That's when I realized it was coming from the hallway. I stood there for almost a full minute, waiting for it to stop. It didn't. I opened the door slowly. The hallway was empty. No one. No shadows. No open doors. Just silence. I told myself it was stress. I went back inside and locked the door. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, I noticed something small. The lock on my door was turned the wrong way. I clearly remembered locking it from the inside. I even checked it twice. Still, I convinced myself I was mistaken. People do that. A week passed. Nothing happened. Then one evening, I came home and smelled soap. Clean, cheap soap. Like in public bathrooms. I live alone. The smell was strongest in the bathroom. The sink was wet. Not dripping, just recently used. I stood there for a long time, trying to find a logical explanation. There wasn't one. That night, I set my phone to record audio and left it on the kitchen table. I didn't tell anyone. In the morning, I listened to the recording. For the first 4 hours, nothing. Then at 2:41 a.m., I heard the front door very slowly opening. On the recording, there were footsteps. Soft, bare feet. They moved through the kitchen and stopped. Then a voice whispered, "You're sleeping lighter tonight." My voice. I don't remember saying that. I went to the police that day. They checked the apartment. No forced entry. No fingerprints. Nothing missing. They suggested stress or sleepwalking. I stopped recording after that. A few days later, I found a note in my trash, not written on paper, on a napkin. It said, "You don't lock the door when you trust someone." My handwriting? I burned it. That night, I woke up on the couch, fully dressed, shoes on. The front door was unlocked. There was mud on the floor, fresh mud. It led to the bathroom. That's when I understood something. Whatever was happening wasn't breaking in. It already had access. I installed a small camera in the hallway, hidden. The first night, nothing happened. The second night, at 3:12 a.m., the camera turned on. I watched the footage the next morning. The hallway was empty. Then the bathroom door opened. Someone walked out. It was me. Same clothes, same posture, but the face, it wasn't wrong. It was empty. No expression, no blinking. It stood there for almost a minute. Then it looked directly into the camera and whispered, "He's starting to notice." I moved out that day. Different city, different apartment, new locks, new number. It's been 8 months. Nothing has happened since. But last night, I found mud by my bathroom sink. And my phone shows an audio recording from 2:41 a.m. I haven't listened to it yet. That's the part I never told the police. I've never told this story in one piece. Every time I tried, people interrupted me, or laughed, or tried to explain it away before I finished. So, I'm just going to tell it the way it happened, slowly, from the beginning. This was about 3 years ago. I was 22 and desperate for money, so I took a night shift job at a small logistics warehouse on the edge of town. It wasn't dangerous, just boring. Boxes, scanners, forklifts, parked in neat rows. The kind of place that feels empty even during the day. At night, it felt bigger. The ceilings were high, the lights buzzed, and sound traveled too far. If you dropped something, you could hear it echo across the whole building. My shift ran from midnight to 6 in the morning. From 1 to 6, I was completely alone. There was a small security office near the entrance. One desk, one chair, a monitor showing feeds from 8 cameras placed around the building. Most of them never changed. Just aisles of shelves and empty hallways. For the first month, nothing unusual happened. Then one night, while half asleep in the chair, I noticed something freeze on the screen. Camera 6. It showed the back hallway near the bathrooms and the emergency exit. The image locked up for a moment, then resumed. I checked the time, 3:30 a.m. I shrugged it off. Old system, cheap equipment. But the next night, it happened again. Same camera, same time. I started paying attention. Every single night after that, camera 6 froze at exactly 3:30 a.m. Always for the same amount of time. 9 seconds. I counted. I mentioned it to my supervisor. He didn't even look at the screen. Just said glitches happen and told me not to worry about it. So I didn't. At least, not at first. A few nights later, I was watching the monitors when the freeze happened again. This time, when the feed came back, the hallway light was off. That light was motion activated. It took several minutes to turn off after someone passed through. 9 seconds wasn't enough. I rewound the footage. The freeze was clean. No distortion. No lag before or after. Just missing time. The next night, I decided to test something. At 3:20 a.m., I left the office and walked to the back hallway. I stood under the camera, waved my arms, made sure the light was on. Then I stayed there. At 3:30, nothing happened. No freeze. The camera worked perfectly. The night after that, I stayed in the office. At 3:30, the screen froze again. That's when I realized it wasn't the hallway. It was me watching it. A few days later, something else changed. When camera 6 came back on, there were wet footprints on the floor. Bare footprints, clearly human. They started near the emergency exit and led toward the bathrooms. On the monitor, they looked fresh, shiny, like the floor had just been walked on. I left the office and went to check. The hallway was dry. The floor was clean. No prints, no water. I stood there for a long time, listening. Nothing. When I got back to the office, I checked the recording. During the freeze, the video stopped, but the audio didn't. For 9 seconds, there was breathing. Slow, calm, very close to the microphone. The microphone was built into the camera, mounted near the ceiling. No one could breathe into it without climbing the wall. I stopped checking camera 6 after that. I kept my eyes on my phone at 3:30. I told myself that if I didn't see it, it wouldn't bother me, but it still did. I could feel it when the time came. The building felt different, quieter. One night, the breathing started before the freeze, just for a moment. I quit the next day. Before leaving, I asked the manager if I could review older footage. I told him it was for a report. He hesitated, then agreed. I went back month by month. At first, the freeze was shorter, 6 seconds, then 5. Earlier still, there was no freeze at all. There was a man standing in the hallway at 3:30 every night, looking straight up at the camera. He didn't move. He didn't blink. Then one night, he was gone. That was the first night the camera froze. I handed in my badge that morning. 2 weeks later, my replacement messaged me. He asked if I knew why camera 6 froze every night at 3:30. I didn't answer. Last week, out of curiosity, I checked the company's website. They're hiring again. Same position, same shift. The listing ends with one line I don't remember seeing before. Employee must be comfortable working alone. That's why I'm finally telling this story.